Okay, we're up to Siman Nun Hey, Halacha Tesvav. So we're talking about the Minyan and some very relevant practical shilas. What happens if you have some people in one room and other people in another room? Are they mitzdaref? And when it came to COVID, and these were minyanim, these were very, very practical shilas. So says the Mechaba in Sif Tesvav, Miksason bifnim umiksason bachutz. You have some people are inside and some people are outside. Ushliach tzibur teicha pesach, and the shliach tzibur is sort of on the entrance where he's sort of in the middle between them. Hu mitzarfon, he can join the two together. Says the Mishnah Berurah Sif Kotzen Nun Daled. Hu mitzarfon to kiven the shehu shliach tzibur, since he is the shliach tzibur. Kol echad noisen daitei olav. Everyone is sort of focused on him. V'hu mechabron yachad, and he is the connector. He's going to join the two groups. V'kol shkenim tisha mebifnim, and how much more so if you've got 9 who are on the inside. V'hu teicha pesach, and the shliach tzibur is inside the pesach. To whom it's tarif lahem, that he's connected to them, and therefore he joins the minyan. V'ahida Sif Yud Zayin shani. Now in Sif Yud Zayin, we're going to be talking about where there's a smaller area and a larger area, and there we make a difference. And to kiven shu b'chotze, and we'll get there in a second. To kiven shu b'chotze gedola hari muflim yatzibur. There, the difference is because he's in a different chotze, in a different room, and therefore he's not considered. It's a separate area. Now, back to our case where you've got some people in one room on the inside, some people on the outside, and you've got the shliach tzibur. That's dafka the shliach tzibur who is mitzaref them. What about a person who's not the shliach tzibur? What if you've got another guy in the minyan who's in the middle there? But if he's in somebody else is not going to be mitzaref, this is all specifically where the groups can't see each other. If some of the group can see the others in the other group, it's the seeing each other will also help. Okay, so therefore either the shliach tzibur is mitzaref the groups together, or the ability to see at least some of the group is mitzaref. Tezayin. Chotze katano shenivritza b'mlua legdoila. You've got a small area, like a small courtyard, and it opens out into a bigger one. Tahainu shenivritza katano b'makom chibura legdoila. There's a breach between the two where it goes into the larger one. V'nafel kol oisakaisel shohem mafsik beinehem. And the wall which is between the small one and the larger chotzer has broken, has fallen down. V'gdoila nishar misheres kaisel zeh shenafel pasim. Pirush ma'at kaisel yoshev v'shava. There's some fence, there's some wall which the larger one has, and therefore you've got a small chotzer which opens out into a larger one. Mikan. On either side there's a bit of fence from the larger one. Hagdoila mufleges min haktana. The large chotzer is separate from the small one. Ve'ein haktana mufleges min hagdoila. But the small one is not separate from the larger one. Elahari keren zov shelah. It's like the small one is just like an adjunct. It's like a corner of the big one. And therefore, lefichach, im tisha b'gedola ve'echad b'ktana. If you've got 9 people who are going to be in the gedola and 1 in the ktana, mitzdarfin, because the ktana is considered part of the gedola, and therefore it joins. Shaktana nigrer zach gedola, v'hari ki'ilu hu b'soich gedola. It's as if that 10th guy is in the gedola. Kiven sha'arev b'gedola. Avelim hoyu tisha b'ktana ve'echad b'gedola. But if you've got the other way around, you've got 9 in the ktana and 1 in the gedola, or even chamish bezu, aim mitzdarfin, because they don't follow the guy in the ktana. It's not considered part of it. Says the Mishnah Berurah. Tez Zayin, Sif Koten Nun Hey, Tisha b'Gedola haklal. The rule is the large one is not going to be following the smaller one, because it's considered a separate rishus. And so too with the tzibur, they can't follow after the yochid. Even 5 following 5 people are not going to flow after them. But rather the yochid will go after the tzibur. The only way it's going to work, therefore, is if the gedola, the tzibur is in the gedola, and you've got one guy in the ketana, or a minority, and therefore he would be mitzdaref to the gedola. Okay, Yud Zayin. Now what about if the shliach tzibur is in the ketana, the small chotzer, and the tzibur are in the large one? He, even though he's in the ketana, he can be the shliach tzibur, and he can be meitzi the gedola, the rabbim, the tzibur, which are in the gedola. Shehu nigrar achareihem, because he sort of dragged after them, and therefore he's mitzdarf with them. It's the other way around. If the shliach tzibur is in the large one, and the tzibur in the ketana, and then it's not going to help. She'ein haroiv nigra acha hayachid, because the rove is not sort of pulled along by the yachid. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Sif Katan Nunvav, Einon Metzion, even if you've got 10 people in the ketana, that's not, he's not part of their group, and therefore he can't stand there and be moitzi them. Even nowadays, to kulon bekian, and the shliach tzibur is not being moitzi anybody, because all of us, Baruch Hashem, we can read and we can daven and we can be moitzi ourselves. But still, he should not say kaddish or kedusha there, because the place where he's standing, there's no minyan. But if there is a minyan where the shliach tzibur is standing, then then he can certainly be moitzi those, even those who are at the back of the Beis HaKnesses, because he's also being moitzi all the people who are listening to him. Yudches. Now this is also very shaykh. If you got some of the minyan who are in the shul, and some are outside in the azara, okay, it could be very nogert here. Now, if some are inside the shul and some are outside, then they're not mitzdarf. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Nun Zayin, uksosim ba'azara, hu adin afilu im tishva beis hakneses. Even if you've got 9 in the shul, the yochid ba'azara, and one guy, your tzenter, is in the azara, then they can't be mitzdarf. Kosva primogodim, dahida sif yudzayim yudches yudtes. These sifim, Myri, we're talking b'she'ein royen ze'ezeh. That's if they can't see each other. The b'royen ze'ezeh afilu b'shnei botzim mamish mistarfin. But if they can see each other, then it's mistarf, and that was a key factor when it came to the Corona minyanim. Seeing each other is like we're saying here, is a critical factor. Dumi the zimun is the same as making a zimun. Lekaman b'simun kufta dihei. V'yesh machmir, and there are those who machmir afilu b'royen of a mokam atchak efshe yesh lahakel. Yeah, I think the Corona was considered the mokam atchak, and the people relied on that. Einam mistarfin mishum de'ein shom pirza, because there's no opening. Va'pesach gufa, and the fact there's a door there, afilu ein shom deles, even if there's no door there. K'mechitza chashuva, it's considered a separate reshus, and therefore it's like a mechitza there. V'havilo shnei batim, and therefore if they can't see each other, then even your 10th man is not going to join your 9, and you haven't got a minyan. V'kotza v'chai odom lefizeh, k'sheyesh bayis v'lifnim hemenoched. If you've got a house, and you've got a room inside, now they think of Hasidish shtibelach. There are some Chasidus where the Rebbe davens in a little cheder on his own. Yeah, so how does that work? It's not sort of opened into the main thing. It's as if it's davening b'yechidus. However, there's a dafka le'inyan tziruf. If there's no other entrance, sort of, he can go out the other way. Right? The only way out is through back to the main shul or whatever. That's how they do it. Okay. Yutes, let's just do one more halacha. Yutes, shliach tzibur bateva. Now this is think of a big United Synagogue shul, where you've got the shliach tzibur standing on the bimah, or he's standing, literally teva means an ark. But imagine he's standing in halachically, it's considered a separate reshus. So what if you've got 9 people, and you've got the Bal Tfilah standing on the bimah, right? So shliach tzibur b'teva v'tishva beis hakneses mitzdarfin afal pishi gvei asor rechova arba. And even though it's got the dimensions that this teva is considered a separate rishus, v'yesh mechitzas gvei asor, and you can even have like a fencing, sort of a balustrade around it. Because it's considered bottled for the rest of the shul, and therefore it's all one big area. That's only if the mechitzas don't go all the way up. I think in some shuls, in Sfas, I've seen there's some shuls where the bim in the middle, the poles go right to the top. There, that could be different. The Mishnah Berurah says, "Shliach tzibur bateva hu adin Achem Mitzaref, lav dafka the Shliach Tzibur. You can have 9 people down there, and one guy wants to daven up there by the bima, still they're mitzaref. V'noka Shliach Tzibur, delay name at the kivin shu tzorech le'tzin de'chavoson migrugara. You don't say that because he is being made to them, there should be any worse off, it should be any difference. Okay, Peseda, we'll leave it there.